Hey everyone. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today our movie in the middle is Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home is the third movie in the MCU's Spider-Man trilogy, following a concept that has never been done before in Spider-Man movie history. Spider-Man's identity has officially been revealed to the public as Peter Parker. This is Tom Holland's third Spider-Man movie and his sixth appearance in the MCU as Spider-Man. This movie has become officially the second highest box office opening in its debut weekend, right behind Endgame. That's insane. It has been the biggest movie, the biggest avoidance of spoilers for people since we had Endgame, and even then, people are comparing it to Endgame and say it might even be bigger. This is also going to be a spoiler-free review, so I'm not kidding, it's probably going to be pretty short. Every time I went to write stuff down in my notes for what I could say in my review, I was like, can't say that, can't say that. So let's start off with the highs. It's funny. It is very funny. Can't tell you why, but it is incredibly funny, as most of the MCU movies are. There's a lot of really great jokes, a lot of great... Yeah, it's funny. It's also hella emotional. Guys, this is probably one of the most emotional MCU movies since Infinity War. No, it is the most emotional movie since Infinity War. And that's saying a lot. It's emotional because it's just, there's so much that happens in this movie. Tom Holland does an amazing job. This is by far his best movie yet. Not even just Spider-Man movie. This is by far his best movie yet. He owns this movie. And he does so many incredible scenes where he really has to pull emotion out. Also, I really loved the dynamic between Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. They had a lot of great interactions. I can't really say what kinds of interactions, but they had some really great ones. It was very much an interesting dynamic because of the fact that they've never really been in a movie just those two together. And they're kind of a weird relationship because, you know, Doctor Strange, he's older and Peter's younger. And so he sees him as just a kid and all this other stuff. So that was really great as well. Besides that, this movie is just awesome. Guys, my theater cheered like a billion times. People were crying. People were laughing. People were out of their seats. It was insane. And the interesting thing is that this movie is really, really different. It is not formulaic like most of the other MCU movies get flack for, you know, being formulaic. It is not. It feels very different and kind of odd. But that's also what makes it pretty awesome. I do have one middle element, and it's very vaguely just... I have to work through some of the choices that were made in the movie. The reason it's not a high or a low is just because, like I said, this movie is very different. And just some of the way that the plot goes and the choices that Peter makes to get to that part of the plot, it caught me very off guard. I wasn't actually sure if I liked it at first. I'm still figuring out how I feel. I've only seen it once. I intend to see it like 18 more times. It is weird. It's something that's never really been done before, and so I didn't know how I felt about it, but it was definitely interesting. I have to process all of the decisions that were made there and what that means for his character. I do have one low that I can concretely say is probably a low off the top of my head, but I even understand that one. The beginning feels rushed, and I knew that was going to happen. It's for a very specific reason, but I still feel like I would have wanted more of it, if that makes sense. It seems like it's something that could have been a whole movie on its own, or even a lot more of this movie, and it felt like they really rushed it to get to what they really wanted to get to, and I felt like it warranted more, because it just felt like they tied something up in like the first 15 minutes and focused on a lot of different things that didn't really quite make sense to the importance of that first 15 minutes. And then we've gotten to the plot of the movie, and I was like, okay. I mean, I know why, but it just bothered me. So overall, Spider-Man No Way Home is a movie that I cannot talk a lot about. I'm going to be doing a spoiler discussion with Jared Samarco on his channel, Jared Talks Cinema, very soon. So you'll understand there why I cannot talk about this movie as much as I want to. You will also understand, because I will give an explanation, for why I'm going to give it the score I'm going to give it. Because, again, I can't say why, but I will say this. No matter what I think about this movie from here on, and whatever changes I have an opinion, or whatever decisions I come to, those things I talked about earlier about having to process decisions and all, I don't think my score is ever going to change for this movie. With that, I'm going to give Spider-Man No Way Home a 4 out of 4, making it my next top shelf movie. Guys, I need you to go see this movie. And then I need you to watch our discussion when we have it later on. There's a lot that I want to talk about, and I can't. If you only ever see it once, it is an experience to watch it. And as always, keep your hopes high, your stress low, and movies right in the middle. I'll see you guys later.